Welcome, Project Paragon Command and senior staff. Dr. Damian Wolf here. Some of you might know me from my work with Dr. Gears or Catherine Sinclair, but today I'm taking you through an entirely different kind of headache. We're doing a full briefing on why reality itself is currently cracking like a dropped windshield, and, luckily, how our new extra-dimensional combat protocols are going to help fix it. Consider this your official explainer on the incoming threat.
Let me just set my coffee down for a second and give it to you straight. Our universe, it's been structurally compromised for millions of years. And no, this isn't your standard anomalous bleed-through. The stars are quite literally falling out of the sky. I propose the brittle world theory. The dimensional slips we've been logging, they aren't isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a foundational, cosmological fracture.
Okay, part 1. The brittle world theory. Let's talk cosmic collisions.
To really wrap our heads around this, we have to rewind billions of years to the genesis of Earth and its staggering connection to the extra-dimensional Deudwinder Empire. Now, during the dawn of our world, the first man, Adam el-Assam, essentially reached into the heavens and pulled down an iron crown. But doing that actually tore the very threads of the cosmos, which dropped an astral elf named Dederon Hatiel straight into our prehistory. Dederon was an advisor to the first emperor of the Deudwinder Empire. And because of that tear, their timeline and ours have been bleeding together ever since. Fast forward millions of years, and another astral knight, Brian Masters, has fallen through those exact same cracks, landing right in Site 19.
Moving on to Section 2, containing Autopapadopolis, the city of the First Father. To truly grasp the scale of these ancient cosmic fractures, we need to look at Ground Zero, SCP-4840, also known as Autopapadopolis. Guys, this is a massive, abandoned city floating roughly 7.8 cubic kilometers right over the Russian Arctic. Right now, Applied Task Force RU-199 has jurisdiction. They handle containment using localized cloud seeding and onboard cloud generators just to hide this massive mobile city from public perception. We're maintaining a strict Paragon restricted 120 square kilometer exclusion zone around it.
My personal methodology out there is, well, it's a bit of a delicate balancing act. One day, I'm bundled up in extreme winter gear, chugging ultra-concentrated cold brew, and interviewing Seth, the city's million-year-old steward, just doing classic academic research. And then the very next day, I'm back at Site 19, literally dodging anomalous swords and managing exploding cantrips during high-stakes containment testing. You really have to bridge that gap between ancient translation work and volatile field ops to get the full picture here.
All right, Section 3, Secrets of the Murals and Antediluvian Prophecies. If we want any chance of understanding the political structures of these antediluvian rulers or the darkness that's coming, we have to look at the city's 3 main temples. So, the Temple of Sunrise depicts the Golden Man, awesome, wearing his iron crown right alongside a bronze dragon, which beautifully illustrates the genesis of Earth. Then you have the Temple of Sunset, which is literally crushed beneath the dead body of a massive entity called the Demon Landslot, a stark record of the historical betrayal by the Sky Kings. And finally, the Temple of Night. This one hides ancient sarcophagi, murals of bleeding trees, dark rituals, and, incredibly disturbingly, a doorway to an abandoned foundation site down in the dark. Inside the Temple of Sunrise, there's a specific mosaic. When I was talking with Seth, he made it absolutely crystal clear that the cryptic warnings on these murals are not just history. They're a direct prophecy. He explicitly warned us about 3 great profanities: the restrictor, the adamant, and the dark. And folks, they're waking up.
Which brings us to Section 4, Astral Magic Mechanics, or as I like to call it, stitching reality.
So, the million-dollar question: how do we stabilize this crumbling reality before that dark approaches? How do we fix what awesome broke? Well, the answer actually lies with our extra-dimensional exile, Brian, Person of Interest 7420. His people utilize the Weave. It's essentially the fundamental cosmological architecture of the universe. By using intense mental focus, combat geometry, and what his people call a true heart, Brian can literally shape and stitch the fabric of reality back together.
And our lab findings completely back this up. Brian's magic is a 92% match for ambient Eve levels. This means his bloodline's magic is explicitly designed to manipulate the cosmos. It acts as the exact cosmological spackle we so desperately need to repair our brittle world. So naturally, after Brian went 15 rounds with SCP-0762, Abel, using this magic enchant, and actually managed to frustrate him,
The higher-ups immediately asked a very foundation question. Can we weaponize these spells for our own mobile task force units? Essentially, can we build an army of tactical wizards?
And that leads into Section 5, the Eldritch Knight Protocols, weaponizing spells.
This is the pilot program for our highly disciplined MTF Alpha 9 recruits. And listen, we aren't just handing our agents glowing swords and hoping for the best, we are teaching them rigorous combat geometry. For defense, a spell called Shield provides a reactive burst of pure force, but it requires a perfectly precise wrist flick for kinetic redirection at the exact millisecond of impact. Then there's Absorb Elements, which basically lets an agent act as a lightning rod, catching anomalous fire and tossing it right back. For offense, we have Booming Blade, a technique that binds sonic resonance directly to a physical strike.
But I cannot stress this enough. The most critical safety measure during experimental magic testing is managing the haste spell. Haste completely overclocks the human engine, doubling your speed and reflexes. But step 3 is an absolute killer. You have a strict 60-second window to terminate the threat, because the very second that spell drops, the user is paralyzed with a massive physical lethargy crash. If they aren't in secure cover when that timer hits 0, they are a sitting duck.
Let's hit our final section, Section 6, Preparing for the Dark and Holding the Line.
To build up our defense against these reality fractures, we've implemented some essential cooperation strategies. First off, I've requisitioned secure lines directly to the Department of Antediluvian Research. We've also green-lighted a magical familiar for Brian to give him extra tactical sight on the battlefield. Plus, we're actively letting him spar with Keter-class anomalies like Abel. It serves a dual purpose, keeps the anomalies safely distracted, and trains Brian's true heart in combat. Win-win.
But I really want to emphasize this to all our training staff. The proper handling of volatile mana is absolutely paramount. As Brian himself puts it, the weave bites. These are minor reality warpings, and they require 100% mental focus. A wandering mind during a booming blade strike won't just fizzle out. It will literally blow an agent's hands off. Remember, we are training Eldritch Knights here, not your standard soldiers.
So, with the weave finally in our hands, Brian secured in containment, and those terrifying warnings finally decoded, I want to leave you with this final thought. The cracks in reality are widening. Are we truly prepared to hold the line when the restrictor, the adamant, and the true darkness finally arrive? Study the protocols, Command. Go get yourself a massive cup of coffee. Class dismissed.